Step up with it, number 15. People's Corporation, number 6. Step up with it means get up with it now. If you got some proactive vision or strategy, or you want to do something about anything, this is the year things are going to start breaking and getting more claustrophobic in terms of what's possible, till you can just do nothing but watch it, whatever it's going to do. But for right now, there's still leeway to do something. And People's Corporation 6, the People's Corporation 6, people don't understand what I'm saying here, I don't think. This is radical. I'm saying we're going to seize the means of production, but we're going to do it in the open market, in the free market. We're not going to do anything underhand or nefarious or violent. We're going to be a people's company that delivers what we all need right now, which is a connection to genuine local resource that does not destroy the planet. And we're going to try to, link up little pieces of this wherever we can find it as a swarm strategy. So you want to be able to put out little manuals so everybody knows what to do no matter what, like the cells in your body, the way that works. We're going with the network paradigm as opposed to the top-down paradigm. That's what the People's Corporation means. And then, it's I like the narrowness of that focus, because, okay, we're not looking at, forget about it. Obviously, it's one of the things we have to take care of, but mesmerization with all the catastrophes. Instead, we're going to turn our attention to a proactive thing we can all get our hands on right now, which is every day we get up and we do some work. Right now, we're doing work, all of us, for different people and for different reasons. We need to retrofit that, and it can be done intelligently and for good reasons. Like, okay, we really should be working together on certain things that need to happen here, and then all that. And to do that intelligently and not and keep the books coherent, you have to have it be a corporate strategy. That's the part I'm talking about, the corporate strategy, not the what do you call it, capitalism. Capitalism being the idea. I guess those are two separate words, right? Capitalism is the idea that you have distant investors. Well, you know what? You could have distant investors too, if we all knew what the hell we were doing and why. It'd be nice now to get people with a lot of money investing in the idea that we're going to create some structures that actually gird up the local vitality of the communities and doesn't have it all crash. And the idea that we can somehow let this seep into the current divisive, everybody at each other's throats situation. And we can only do it as fast as it's going to happen. Is that going to be fast enough to stave off the worst of the environmental catastrophes? But there are other catastrophes all looming out there. The wars coming, overpopulation, the fact that we've sort of depleted the soil, not sort of. We've crashed we're getting to a point where we're ready to crash the biodiversity of the planet. The Amazon's ready to go crashing. And, not only are we not taking care of this, we're continuing to make it worse for right now. There's plastic in the clouds and all the, because nobody knows how to do anything but make money and try to buy what you want from strangers. But so how do you break all the different barriers to doing something different? And clearly it's not that simple. Even talking about it is not simple, because I'm not commodifying this. And if I did, who am I pitching it to, And that's one of the things, we don't have a clear discussion going on out there about possibilities, because everybody that you get to hear is somebody that's like somehow commodified their rap, which means they're giving you something you want to hear, not necessarily something that, and also trying to get you to give them money. Hey, here's something simple, give me some money. No. Plus, I don't freaking want. We're trying to decommodify the whole situation, and decommodify does not mean stop the accounting. It means stop putting things in terms of just abstract credit value in terms of what it's worth to all of us, and why we're doing it. And the community-based logic is what was getting us by for so many millennium when we were communities. And we understood that, working collectively, we could get all these resources together and we could all make it. Look how far we've come. Now we're going to let it all crash because we have too many skills and we have too many goodies to choose from and too many. That's kind of stupid, isn't it? And the reason is because we lost our connection to working together for what we really want. And now since we don't have that common ground source of meaning, people look for meaning in strange places, like piling up weird goodies or getting into weird, kinky, weird shit or whatever. So there's healthy versions of everything out there. And the postmodern idea that there's no such thing as like meaningful meaning and healthiness and doing it the right way, and you can just do whatever the fuck and it means nothing. That's the end game of materialism. So yeah, you got a philosophy to go with that. Yeah, just look at the words. I tried to. I'm a kind of half-ass scholar. I don't want to be people talking down us scholars to the rest of us and talking amongst each other. All that's bullshit. And every other way of pointing fingers, like, oh, you're too smart. Let's not listen to this. Whatever the hell you want to say, people, we're at a collective moment of trying to think about stuff, and this is an open-ended brainstorm, and you're not going to get a lot of that up there. And I'm not trying to pitch this to everybody. These are notes to myself in the one mind. Stop getting distracted, Mike. You're not talking to those people out there. Hey, I'm not talking to you. So don't even worry about it. Look, we have some barriers. Imagine that the People's Corporation is a radical strategy of seizing the means of production, but we're not putting it that way. We're saying, hey, can't we look at all this other better way of working it? So we have to start making it work at the various different levels that it can. And I keep going back to the three levels. The one where, as an individual, what do? Well, immediately you start working with some other people. So the minute you start working with some other people, you're into the next level, which is the mid-range organization, where there's all kinds of organic ways to do that, right? But the current place where that happens every day is small range, businesses. And then you got the next level, which is businesses that you're not able to know who the boss is. And that's what's taking over the planet. You can't talk to those guys. Although you should be able to, because it's nothing but human beings all the way to the top. I don't care if there may be lizard heads underneath that. So what? So what? Deal with it. We got lizard heads to talk to? Fucking talk to them. Because we're all on the same planet. And we all have the same means. Get over all this mysterious bullshit about people sucking our energies of pain or whatever weirdness. What if it is true? There's nothing you can do about it that way. What you can do about it is start to get your actual resources that you can see in your face and what we need to be doing together that's so obvious. This means if you're thinking you're going to do heaven on earth, why do I keep going there? Because we have all these people mesmerized by these prophecies, and I'm saying, you know what? I've actually got angles that make me see that the energies are real. We have a whole planet crashing. Why wouldn't there be transcendental energies breaking through? But stop being mesmerized about heaven on earth. We have to make it with our own hands. We are the tools of creation. We are the hands of creation. If we're going to be enlightened about it, we're just going to point fingers at ourselves and bemoan. Okay, but it's got to be an open-minded thing. So there's open-mindedness, brainstorming, and I'm not trying to reach anybody. We're trying to get to some concepts. And one thing I'm thinking is, collectivizing debts. How do you make it? People need to start working together. They could be doing this tomorrow if we worked out how to do it. I talk about the complexity of it. But one of the simple things, because I happen to be in a household with two other, a mom who's actually now has a weekend job, and two other bros who have jobs. These are all friends of mine. It's just, it's almost a commune. It's like a tiny fragment of what could be a commune. And here we are in way past all that. I'm an ancient hippie. They ain't. How did this happen? Yeah, we're friends, and we've known each other for a long time. There's two kids involved, and we're helping each other out. Did I instigate some of this? And she did too. People have a sense of what needs to happen. What are the real barriers to getting that to be a serious economic, module? The module of a handful of people working together, throwing in with each other, and collectivizing all their stuff. If you had lawyers and accountants, you'll work this out. And then how you start breaking down what people need to do at a very immediate level in terms of modularizing people's needs. And now you have a company that lets you, let's say, takes part-time and work on stuff and take home the things you need instead of getting paid at all the different modular levels. Yet today's brainstorm, from the people's, I had those two thoughts. It's a radical strategy. We're seizing the means of production, but we're doing it friendly like in the open arena and in the free market. And Yeah, government. If we can show how this happens on the ground, then government can incentivize it. Right now, government only knows how to incentivize the way people do business. So it's hard for them to parse between, if on the ground business is about backstabbing everybody and letting the most efficient, impersonal, top down, super efficient win. That's the system. So government can only incentivize that at this point. To go against the grain of that at government level, they need to have something more solid to point to that works. That's why it needs to start happening at the ground. And so in between, I was talking about the three levels: the personal, the actual organizations that are genuine and wholesome are around 30ish is where it gets to be complete. And you can go up to, I don't know how many. You can probably get as big as you want if you kept it modular and people, a network of families and then communities and then villages. And every step of the way, you have organic network like organizations. The hierarchy is built into the network. This is a healing of the hierarchical paradigm, not a victory over it. It's a melding of it back into the rest of us. And there is a metaphysical version of that, and that go back to 13. I haven't posted it yet. I've got some visioning on that score. But the People's Corporation focuses the idea about what we can do proactively. Not to There's a lot of people got their eye on all the different things that are breaking in the wrong way, and different possible ways of remediating them, but how to not keep doing it, and what the healthy version of all of this is. And as we bring together, the new paradigm is a cooperative paradigm. So as you get the little modules of this working, it gathers strength. And right now, all the means of communication are commodified, so nobody trusts anybody. So that's an obstacle to overcome. And maybe you got to do it at the personal level. Like your neighbor is offering you this thing where you go in and everybody has a discount on some shit. Right now, there are things sort of like that. Oh, by the way, that's a big item too. There's a lot going on right now. We need to get a little group to stop. I can try to do this by myself. I'm trying to get a handful of people working with me. Don't worry about it. I know who I'm going to try to reach. For now, I'm getting my notes together. And the idea is to have real solid directories of what's out there. And I'm saying AI can help with this and start making the obvious connections. But a lot of the organizations out there that are not, businesses that are trying to do the right thing and address the crisis or whatever else are also nonprofits, and they're still competitive. They're still also thinking, they've got the whole answer. Not all of them, but where's the context where we can start working together? The same thing goes for these new healing modalities. Everybody's trying to pitch you their version. Well, maybe some of it's real. I'd say a lot of it is real, but isn't there a way outside of seeing the commodity based? Everybody's competing. In the community based version, there's a cooperative version of all this, and we take the best of it and we say this is what really works. And if you were thinking you were doing something else, it's all right. We learn to share the expertise as well. We could use 1 million people doing massage and healing. This shouldn't be competitive. Nothing about all this should be competitive. When we got enough people doing something, then some of us could take a break. How do we scale back all this extra work we're doing? The People's Corporation, it's provocative, but the idea of corporation, what I'm suggesting is we're going to get serious about the accounting and about doing it right with expertise and making solid connections between human beings. And it's about getting it done, not trying to get somebody to vote for you. And a corporation that, we're not a mafia, hopefully. I mean, most corporations right now are mafia, and I don't want to disrespect the mafia to the extent that the only part of that I don't like is the violence, right? They're trying to organize some stuff. People trying to work together for the greater good. These are organizations, and people trying to keep their own integrity within the midst of all that. That's the big challenge. That's what we got on Earth. In the midst of all this, we've trashed our planet, and maybe that's an idea that we need to look at all the things that really sustain us, like the other people in our community. The ecology of community is who we are. The People's Corporation needs to be an ecology of community, and we're trying to communitarianize, just decommodify. It means we're taking into account the needs and the worth as a, the worth in terms of value, not numeric piles of credits. And I'm running around to these 17-minute ones just as a way to end a kind of big rant. So what the hell? They're modular things that can take place between people, and the communication barriers and the political barriers are kind of in the way of talking to each other about more serious economic things. But I want to throw in once again, that however you may think about Robert Kennedy, he's talking about serious issues. He's talking about them. The other two modes in the political arena, one of them's talking about himself, and yeah, he's outside the box, but he's not. And the other one is the box. And neither of them serve the people. I want you to know this. I mean, Biden pretends, and the Democrats pretend, but again, it's government serving the current economic paradigm. Yeah, look, they're doing the best they can, and the Republicans are doing what they think they need to do. What the hell? And so is Trump. But they're sort of, I'm saying, misinformed as to what we really need to do. And the point is, there is a middle ground where we're talking about real things instead of pointing fingers. But the real things could be done something about them on the ground every single day in the way we interact and the way we actually get what we need. And when we start coordinating all that, part of our problem is everything's all cut up. That's why the idea of the People's Corporation, a big umbrella. But we're running it democratically, and everybody gets to do what they really hope to do and stay close to their dreams. And the idea is that we are the assets. So you don't get fired. People come around and they help you get to the next level, whatever you're going through. It's a nourishing proposition. And you get it started anywhere, and you feel that energy, and you start spreading it. But we need serious versions of all this. You go off into that pie in the sky, and you forget the idea that really what I'm saying is we got to get professional about this. We got 3 people in this household, and it's all just because we trust each other. But if you wanted to extend that, we would need some contracts. But they're there. They're doable. A whole neighborhood needs such and such. Now that's, if you connect that to joyful things like music and festivals, and we don't have to just go with the holidays. That's ways people selling us stuff. So stupid. We need our own reasons to get together. We need reasons to get together and celebrate community. But those are all ways to humanize some of these connections. And we're all really isolated because out there the common ground has been taken over by the current paradigm, which is everyone for themselves. And you can't trust what anybody's saying. That doesn't work in community. And you can feel the energy of people being honest with each other. And you can feel the energy of people working together. And it's a healing energy right away. And yet each of us wakes up in a painful body. My body hurts in the morning. And it's a little bit of a struggle to get back to that common ground of a planet we're sharing and a planet we're trashing while we're all stuck in our own little view, but not to be preachy. And there's so much confusion out there right now. A lot of there's real information underneath a lot of it. And who am I talking to right now? We can get very constructive and start looking at the different versions of the modular aspects of it. There's how you start whole businesses that take into account the community logic. You probably want to get those grounded to a permaculture farm as a simple aspect of a complicated proposition. And then there's the large scale version of how that all works. And we end up talking to the current powers that be as equals. This is hard to imagine, but it's going to happen because we're going to be, all of us, staring at the edge of the cliff. But before that, it can be done now. This is the year to step up with it. That's the name of this one. Step up with it. And it's time to come together and get constructive. So what is it that we can do? And ways to communicate. No worries. We'll break it out. It's a vanguard proposition. The current means of communication are compromised. No worries. There's a healing afoot. but it has a lot of these different levels. So yeah, next it's going to be targeted outreach, targeted, focused, coming together. And these few groups, does anybody listen to these? Yeah, that's why I'm saying it. Because look, man, what else is out there? People talking crazy shit. So what? It doesn't matter what the history, how we got here. It's what are we doing now? Every single moment that we're just staring at the past or imagining strange what have yous that we're not sure about. Look at what you are sure about. Who can you trust? Where's the things you need? There are healthy versions of them. And if you stay at this by yourself, as currently we seem to be, not even listening to each other, I wouldn't mind somebody dropping a random crazy video on me. But the idea, what else is out there, is all these finger pointing. And people want to not hear, hey, Mike, like what I'm saying now. They want to see it. That's why it doesn't matter. Nobody's listening now. Let's get a few people together, make something happen, and that people can do, and have it be something modular so it can be everywhere. And then you can put some things on TikTok that'll interest people and entice people to check some things out on the ground that might make a real difference and start moving it in a good direction. And it's about being practical at the same time as you're being idealistic. It's about being materialistic at the same time as you're being spiritual. And yeah, I looked that one up. In the Rosicrucian philosophy, the Luciferian mess up is to think, don't worry, we're all spirit. Don't worry about the material. There's a lot of people doing that. It's a real mess up. I don't care how spiritual you are. You're not dealing with the whole universe. You're not dealing with all of who you are if you're not dealing with the realness of the material plane, which means economics. It means a bunch of other things. Politics, what the hell? From the other side, there's a lot of that on this planet. Everybody's saying it's all just material. And even if you're like, don't believe in anything transcendent, the fact that the whole basis of what everything means is who we are in a subjective way, and that's who we're trying to honor from a political point of view and an economic point of view, that's exactly equivalent to balancing the spirit side with the material. And to not honor that is this, in a particular way of looking at it, the satanic. It's different aspects of getting it wrong. And the idea is a balance that honors both.